How would you tell a new educator how to balance AI and that whole piece, the new world that we're going into with what they've been taught in education?
So I don't know if I have the answer, but that's certainly part of the reason why we went up to visit this school. And, it was very clear talking to their superintendent, Mike Bigley, that, their goal isn't to just let AI take over the teaching, because we all know that this machine, I can look at it all day long and I'm not going to get smarter just staring at it. We need people to interact with. We need people to coach us on how to interact with those tools, and we need people to, quite frankly, work with us on how to interact with each other. So some of those people that are proposing that AI can take over classrooms and we don't need human existence in them, I think we really need to communicate with them that working with human beings is still a human job. AI or other tools are just that. They're tools, and they can improve education by all means. But in my mind, it's no way it's ever going to function without the human element in it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my guest today is Willy Chambers. Willy is the superintendent and special education director at Blackhawk School District, and that is located in South Wayne, Wisconsin. Willy, thank you so much for being here today.
Janet, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your role and what's going on at Blackhawk.
Yeah, my role is a dual role, as you mentioned. I'm the district administrator and director of special ed. We're a small rural school district with about 350-ish kids, early childhood to 12. Currently, as of a couple days ago, we have 66 students enrolled in special education, early childhood through 12 as well. Ranging from speech services all the way through some significant needs. Certainly have heard of challenges greater than some of our students have had, but we certainly have students with some challenges that they have to overcome or to learn to deal with.
Yeah. So you had some stories of some students that have had some real successes. I'd love to hear some of that.
Yeah, so we've, one example that I can think of off the top of my head, who's a young man who's going to be, or he isn't going to be in high school here. And great young man. He came into the school with significant challenges, particularly in this case, he had Down syndrome. Struggled very much to survive at first or to function at first in the school setting. Some very talented teachers and paraprofessionals and special educators worked with the child over the years. He still has challenges. There's no question about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He functions very well. He is very well loved by the community, by the students, by the staff, and a lot of support for him. He is recognized not only in our community, but the communities that we integrate or function with. And just a very positive perspective to bring to the school, and teaches others, I think, to recognize that we're not all the same and that we have to accept people's differences and learn to function with each other in a positive way.
So what do you attribute to that? Do you think it's more his personality or the talent of your staff or family or a combination? What do you think? What was the turning point for him?
So he very much has a family that's very much engaged and very concerned for him and very willing to take whatever steps they can to support him. But I think it's also true that that our staff was very instrumental in helping the young man function and gain some skills to function at the level he is now. I also commend the community for, not just our community, but the communities that we interact with, for accepting him, welcoming him, making him feel important, which he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did he start with you in kindergarten, or did he come in the middle of his career?
No, he was, his father actually went to school here as well.
Oh, wow.
And he taught his father and coached his father. So, yeah, he's been in this school system all the time he's been in school.
So you're that guy from Back to the Future. That guy's still here?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
How long have you been there? I'm teasing, of course, but how long
No,
have you
that's
been there?
okay. I've been here in a employed role for 28 years. I also
Wow.
was a graduate of here, and my dad taught here, and my mom subbed here. So yeah, I've been in this community or part of this community for a long time.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So what was the superintendent like a planned piece of it? Did it come? How did your career go from, I'm assuming you started as a teacher, but you've been in a lot of different places in that same location. I'd love for you to take us through that journey for you.
Yeah, so like I said, I graduated from here, and then I went to University of Whitewater, got my degree, Bachelor's of Education in Mathematics. My first teaching job was actually out in California for 7 years, and then I got the opportunity to come back to Wisconsin. Started back here 28 years ago as a high school math teacher.
Okay.
About 11, 12 years in, I had finished my master's degree and to get my principal's license, and had an opportunity to we had an interim superintendent, be a principal for a year. That interim superintendent persuaded me to go for my superintendent's license. And then after Pete left, they hired a new superintendent for those 3 years that I happened to be finishing or getting my degree. And then when Charles moved on to another position, I interviewed for the position. The board at that time awarded me the position. Good, bad, or indifferent. 14 years later, we're you and I are talking.
There you go. 14 years. That is longevity for a superintendent. That's really amazing because they don't usually. I think the last I heard, the longevity is more like 4 to 5 years, right? It's a tough job. It's a tough job.
Yeah, I got a lot of good people around me, so
Yeah.
there's still challenges. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah. No, it's all a breeze. We're just living the life, It's like just going with the waves, right? No, definitely the hard work. So what would you say are some of your biggest challenges?
The biggest challenges is trying to provide all the opportunities that we want to or need to create situations where kids can either go directly into the workforce, go to tech school, or go to a four-year college, whatever their life passion is, to provide those opportunities that they need to get there in a limited financial environment, and it's just the way it is. So we're reaching out, we're working with other school districts around us to provide opportunities. We're working with the tech colleges and the universities around us, reach out to the schools and their systems. So it's just a constant battle to try to find those opportunities. And, we don't even know what the job force is going to be in a few years. So creating learners that are, they're just lifelong, it has to be lifelong learners. And I don't care whether that's going into the trades or going into a position similar to mine. You can't just learn one thing and sit on your laurels for the rest of your life. You have to continue to be engaged.
Yeah.
So creating that base, I guess, if you will, is the challenge, and creating the opportunities for those kids.
Yeah, and helping them to recognize that, right? Yeah. How much are you seeing? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said that's the biggest challenge, is helping them to see that they need to take advantage of things when they can.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of us that would go, man, if I had known what I know now, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure. For sure. You and I have been in education for a long time. I've been a speech therapist. I think I told you 31 years. I can't even believe it's been 31 years. I don't feel like it's been 31 years,
Yeah. Well, this is my 35th year I'm finishing, so
we got 4 years on me. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about like post-COVID? Like, have you seen? Are we getting back to baseline? Are we getting back to, Or do you think we ever will?
I don't know that we're getting back to that baseline, but I don't know that that baseline is the baseline that should exist anymore, if you will. The world's changing so much faster. I know our principal and myself just went up to a northern school district in Wisconsin, watched their teachers interact with AI instruction in the classroom. And I'm not saying that's the new everything, but it's certainly part of what's going to be going.
It's not going away.
We need to adapt, and we need to adapt much quicker than we have in the past. And that's quite frankly because of the devices like you and I are communicating with right now. The internet, the tools, not that they're new because they've been around for quite a while, but the tools that are being used on them are just evolving so much faster. So do I think we've gotten back to that baseline? No, but do I think it's the baseline we need to shoot for? I don't think so either.
No, yeah, I get that. We've got, and AI is just one piece of it. There's.
Yes, it's not the whole picture.
No, but it's a piece. It's the piece that people are paying attention to even more so, I think, than just not the social motion. I meant the social media and TikTok and whatever, and just devices. When devices came out, we thought they were going to be really great, right? It's a cool thing that you've got, and now it's kind of like taken over, and we don't want that, do we?
No.
But how do you balance that? I mean, you've got a lot of experience. How would you tell a new educator how to balance AI and that whole piece, the new world that we're going into, with what they've been taught in education?
So I don't know if I have the answer, but that's certainly part of the reason why we went up to visit the school. And, it was very clear, talking to their superintendent, Mike Bigley, that, their goal isn't to just let AI take over the teaching, because we all know that this machine, I can look at it all day long and I'm not going to get smarter just staring at it. We need people to interact with. We need people to coach us on how to interact with those tools. And we need people to, quite frankly, work with us on how to interact with each other. And, so some of those people that are proposing that AI can take over classrooms and we don't need human existence in them, I think we really need to communicate with them that working with human beings is still a human job. AI or other tools are just that. They're tools, and they can improve education by all means. But it's, in my mind, it's no way it's ever going to function without the human element in it.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it was like, because we talked about it. One of the recent podcasts that we put out was we were talking quite a bit about AI and how the human piece of it is not. I don't know that you can replace. As a speech pathologist, one of the things that we work on is pragmatics, and pragmatics is, for an SLP, is one of the hardest things to teach, because especially you think about a child that has autism, they love the rules. Tell me that they're so smart. They're such smart kids. They're amazing kids. And they want to please, and they want to do a good job. The kids that I've worked with anyway. And they try really hard. They're trying to figure it out. How do I do this? How do I socially interact? And it's so, they want to apply a rule. Tell me what the rule is and I'll apply it, and then I'll be okay. And then I'll be able to talk to my friends and whatever. And I've seen kids try so hard to apply something, but there's so many nuances in communication that it's impossible. I mean, it's like, there's no way in my mind that a machine or an AI machine, and maybe we're wrong, I don't know, but to do what we as humans inherently do, and it's not just the words, it's not just the tone, it's the body language. I mean, I talk with my hands. If you're listening to this, my hands have been up almost the entire time, because I'm just use my hands to express things, and it's just a part of one part of the whole picture. And body language is huge in communication. And how do you teach a computer to recognize all of that? I don't know if you can. And so I think that's one piece of kind of where you're going with all of that, is that just.
Yeah, I'm sure things are going to evolve more too, but I still, in my future, I don't perceive that there is any way that the human element's going to be out of a productive classroom.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have sentience. We have souls, and the computers do not have a soul. And that's part of it too. We had that conversation too. It's like, they don't have souls, and you cannot give them a soul, so it's interesting. And it's something that I think, I would love to just bury my head in the sand and go, nope, don't want to deal with it. But I don't think we're going to have a choice. I know we're not going to have a choice. So, yeah.
Probably a lot of good reasons that we don't have a choice, but it is scary. Everything that's evolving is so quick that it does create some uncomfortableness.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. I think it's just that, I'm 57. So, but when you think about the students that we have, I always tell people they're digital natives. They don't know a world without technology. My daughter loves to say that she's just older than Google because she was born in January of 98 and Google was September of 98. So 27 years. And look how far Google's come in 27 years. And so she did, she was an infant. So there is and my other two are younger than her. So they just don't know a world that doesn't include cell phones and computers and one-to-one and all of those buzzwords that we have now in education around devices. But it's there, and it's just becoming, and it seems like it's coming even faster than it did before.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what would be one thing, Willy, if you could, now you can't say money because everybody knows we all need more money, right? You're not allowed to say money. What would be one thing, if you could just miraculously fix it in your world, what would it be if you, in your school, in your job, what would you fix?
So this is, it's a difficult question to answer, but one of the things that I would like to fix or like to have change, and it's not going to all change, is there are some attitudes of some people out there that are negative towards education. Mm-hmm. And I would really like people to reflect. And we all live different experiences with our own education, so that's what informs our attitude. But some of those people that challenge the value of education in a formal setting, I don't know how else to phrase it, I really wish that they would sit back and take the time to really explore what it would be like without education and maybe change some of that attitude. And then that might affect some of those other things that you said I couldn't ask for.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, because we can all use money. We all, and I 100% agree with you. I think that there are decisions that are being made without looking at, and that's what Brighter Together is all about, is bringing about stories of this young man with Down syndrome that has been blessed by your community, and the fact that AI is not going away, and the fact that there is a human element here that we have to keep in mind. In schools with, how many students did you say you guys have? 300?
About 350.
350 students or 350,000. It doesn't matter. There's still people that are every day getting up and doing the work that allows all of those children, 7 point whatever, I don't know. I think maybe I'm talking about special education. I don't know. I need to know my numbers better, but millions and millions and millions of kids, right? And just in the United States, we'll just say millions and millions. Because at one point I had 7.1 million children, but I don't know if that was just special education. Don't know where that number is coming from in my head. Is that about right? Does that sound right?
Sounds right for special education.
For special education. And then,
just based on our student numbers in the state and what the percentage of.
And that percent for special education is going up. It's not going down.
No, it's not. And, and I sometimes think people think that's just because we overdiagnose if you will. Not the case. I think some of it is because of these devices, some of the ADHD kind of related things and so forth. Is we're training ourselves and our kids for immediate gratification and immediate feedback, and that doesn't always happen. So it creates some new challenges that I think we're trying to figure out how to deal with.
Yeah, because they have to, you have to teach them that you can turn it off, that you can not, and there's fun things that you can do. I know that my youngest, has told me, he's like, Mom, if I didn't have my phone, I mean, I know he's addicted. It's a problem. He's a great kid. He's super smart. But that phone is really important to him. And he's told me, he's like, I don't function well if I don't have my phone. We depend on it. He depends on it for so many things. Even myself, I find myself, if I don't have my phone, after about an hour, I'm like, okay, where did I, because I'm really bad about setting it down and walking away and not realizing where I left it. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I need my phone. But it wasn't always that way. I mean, I not 10 years ago, I think I would probably not even have been, I hope it's 10 years, but, we become, even as adults, we've become dependent on them for way too many things. And that's not a great thing, right?
No, it's not, but you're right. I am very dependent on my phone.
And we're as guilty as the kids, right? We can't. Yeah. It's hard to sit here and go with our phone in our hand. You really shouldn't use your phone so much, right?
Yeah, it's hard to do that, but
yeah,
I have double standards, and And you can, if you're the boss, right? And if they're the one that's in control and in charge, but it's hard for kids to separate that out. Like, you can't tell me not to do something and then do it yourself, but they don't get that you have a different role than they do. So, yeah. Yeah. And I don't usually tell kids I'm the boss, but that is the reality, if you will. It's not a power thing. I have a very different purpose because I'm going to be reached out to if there's an emergency or something along those lines.
Yeah. But they don't make that correlation, right? No. Even if you tell them, they're not always going to make that correlation.
Nor did I when I was 16, to be honest with you. So I get it.
Yeah. And that's the dichotomy. It's kind of funny. Is like, it's just like where, what we've been talking about this whole time is finding that balance, finding that way to deal with education and what's coming and where we are right now and where we've been and what's new and just, but again, and you said this really well, we are lifelong learners, and so do they need to be lifelong learners, right? Keep learning. So, well, Willy, it's been great to have you here. Where do people go if they want to learn more about Blackhawk School District?
It's you can go to our website, which is just blackhawk.k12.wi.us, and that'll take you to our website. And if people have questions, they can certainly reach out to me on my emails on the website. Love to communicate with people and get other ideas. There's a lot of ideas out there, and I don't remember how the saying goes, but if you're stealing somebody else's idea, it's a compliment to them, and right. I will compliment a lot of people if they'll let me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, imitation is the best form of flattery.
There you go.
So there you go. There you go. I got it. Yeah, and it absolutely is true. So, and that's why we're here. That's why we're doing Brighter Together, because we are brighter together. We are working together to create and to bring awareness of all of the people that are working so hard in education, because there's millions of us.
Yes, there are.
All right.
People.
Have a great summer. It's June 5th, by the way. So, and I asked him before school's out already for them. But by the time you hear this, it's going to be headed into the fall probably. So I hope you have a great summer and enjoy something. Hopefully you get a little time off.
Have a great summer. Thanks, Jane.
All right. Take care.
Bye.